This is the card I'll be showing you how to make today. It's using the Pansy dies and the Pansy Patch stamp set. So to get started, first off, I will show you how I got these pansies. They kind of look like they're watercolored, but I'm going to show you a really cool way to get that look, and we're actually going to spritz directly onto the stamp. So first off, you're going to need some shimmery white cardstock. I find that the shimmery white absorbs the water just a tad bit better than the basic white, and it also gives it a little extra shimmer to the project. So first I'm going to take Calypso Coral ink and the Pale Papaya ink, open those up, and you're going to need a sponge dauber. And then I've taken, this stamp right here, and this pansy stamp right here, and I'm going to ink it up, the larger one, in the Pale Papaya, and then I'm going to take my sponge dauber, ink it up in the Calypso Coral, and just go around the very center of this stamp here. And then I'm going to grab a piece of cardboard here to kind of put over my project and working area, and I'm just going to hold the spritzer, I don't know, 6-8 inches away, and just give it a little mist, not too much water, and then we're going to stamp directly down on our project like so. And then I'm going to take the smaller one and do the exact same thing. So ink it up in the Pale Papaya, and then take a little bit of a sponge dauber with the Calypso Coral on it and kind of go right in the center of the flower, and then kind of take your cardboard here, give it a little spritz, and then I'm going to stamp that right down in the center here, kind of to fill in the center and give it a little bit more depth and coloration there. So we'll close up our ink pads, kind of let that dry. Actually, keep up in your Pale Papaya, and we're going to do the smaller one here. So you'll take leave your Pale Papaya out, and then also you're going to grab your Blackberry Bliss ink here, and we'll be using this stamp right here. Ink it up in the Pale Papaya, and then take your sponge dauber in the Blackberry Bliss, and you're just going to do the exact same thing and put a little bit of ink in the center there, and then give it a little spritz like so, and then we'll stamp that directly down like that. So that's what your finished product should look like. Also, we're going to kind of do the same thing with the leaves. So I've got the Soft Succulent ink here, and then I've also got the Evening Evergreen ink and my little piece here, and I'm going to do this solid leaf in the Soft Succulent ink, and you're going to stamp 2 of those directly down, and then ink up in your Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to spritz this one so that it kind of bleeds into the base color and kind of gives it a cool watercolor effect also. And then make sure you wash your stamps before you re-ink and do this technique again, otherwise it can add too much water and moisture into your ink. So we're going to ink up again, clean ink up, and then spritz, and then we'll stamp it over our second leaf here like so. Now let these air dry for just a smidge of time. That way they won't bleed or get on your die cutting machine or anything. But once that you have finished that and you've let them dry for a minute, you'll want to take your dies, and I've got the leaf die, so you'll want to die cut both of those in the die cutting machine, and then also your flowers here, we'll want to die cut those and run those through the die cutting machine here. Oops, get those flipped around. So you'll take your base plate here, and you'll have the number 1, number 2 plexiglass plate here, and then you'll have your paper and your dies, like so. And then you'll place another plexiglass plate, which I've lost mine, but you'll put it on top of there and run it through the die cutting machine. And when you finish, you should end up with all of these fun little pieces that we just created. Next, you're going to take, we want to add some more and make it look even cooler. So I took this die right here out of the pansy dies and this pale papaya, and then I also took this die right here and a piece of Calypso Coral and the Blackberry Bliss, and we're also going to run through all of these through the die cutting machine. So you'll take your base plate, number 2, and a plexiglass plate here, and you want to run these through, and then also you'll be running this same die through your Blackberry Bliss also. So once you do that, place your plexiglass plate on top, run that through the die cutting machine, and then when you finish, you should end up with a few pieces like this. Now I went ahead and added some Wink Stella to these just to add a little bit extra shine to them. And then next we will go and attach them to our project. So you'll just take this, flip it over, and add a smidge of glue on here. And I kind of pushed the top center part so that these two little pieces kind of matched. And I'll hold it up here in the camera so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I've kind of pushed these two pieces together so they kind of meet there. And then you'll take your Calypso Coral center here, and we'll place that right in the center, like so. And then take your Blackberry Bliss here, add a little bit of glue, and we're going to pop that right down there in the center, like so. All right, now I took some of these genial gems here, and I took some of the gold champagne color, and I, pop those right in the center of the pansies. If I can get them off of here, like so. So there's that, and then grab some dimensionals, and you want to put some on the back here just to make them pop. And we'll set these pansies aside and start assembling the rest of the card. So I took, this card is a note size card, so it is a 3.5 by 5 inch card, and they have matching envelopes that come along with the note card pack. So you'll fold that in half, and then I've taken a 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of this plaid. This is the Pale Papaya Plaid DSP from the Pansy, let's see here, the Pansy Petal DSP here. So I just also added some gold trim here, and then you can put some dimensionals on the back of this, like so. And then place that down there. Also, I took the Evening Evergreen ink and the Happy Birthday stamp and stamped that just below the gold trim there. And then I took some of the Bumblebee trinkets here, or one of them, and you can actually just use a tad bit of Tombow and attach that right above the Happy Birthday. and just let it sit there for a minute so that it kind of sticks and adheres. And then, what happened to my leaves? I lost my leaves. Oh no. Okay, I found my leaves. Here we go. So you want to take your leaves and add some dimensionals to the back of them, like so, and we can take the backs off of those. And then we're going to take the backs off of the pansies and just kind of line them up there and attach them to your card. You can kind of overlap them a little bit. And then take your leaves, kind of stick them right underneath the pansies here. Like so. There we go. So there's your finished card, kind of using the pansies and kind of creating a watercolor look to them. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.